Good evening and welcome to Borough Fan TV. Happy New Year, everybody. And the Monday Night Club's back, lads. You alright?
Yeah, missed it, James.
Yeah, so we're back in our usual spot here at the Longlands Club. Joining me on the first show for 2019 are Guesty and AJT. We alright, lads?
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Good,
good. Well, our previous show was a bit doom and gloom and a bit like Ebenezer Scrooge when we talked after the Sheffield Wednesday game. But since then we've gone 3 games undefeated, so is it like slimming world now, all new beginnings and everything?
Yeah.
Or are we getting a bit carried away? What do you reckon, lads?
After, like you say, the run up to Christmas, November, October, September, the 3 wins since then, it's been a breath of fresh air, really.
Yeah.
And like 8 goals for, 1 conceded. So
hopefully, sign of things to come.
Like you say, obviously one was a cup game against allegedly lesser opposition, but like you say, onwards and upwards now, hopefully, James.
Fingers crossed. We've got Gary Monk's Birmingham ahead at the weekend, so we're going to talk about that and obviously talk maybe about his time at the club a little bit. As always, Borough fans, we're going out live tonight, so join in the debate. AJ's got the phone here ready to come back with your views and opinions. So we also want you to get back in touch with us about the last few games. Also look at the transfer window, which is open. There's also been 1 or 2 incomings and outgoings already. So as always, we appreciate your views. Get in touch with us and let us know what you're thinking. So lads, a bit of a turnaround as we said in the last few games. Going back to the Ipswich game a week on Saturday, was a bit flat in the first half, wasn't it, the atmosphere? And we were indebted to 2 crucial saves from Darren Randolph and a bit of a debatable penalty decision. Going back to Darren Randolph, AJ, what do you think about his role in the team?
I think still very much underrated in my opinion.
Would you go as far as saying best keeper in the division?
He's one of the best in this division, and I think anyone that says he isn't is deluded. Just being honest, you know.
No, I think you're right,
Darren Randolph, you know what I mean, you put him next to some of the best goalkeepers in this league, wouldn't you? I mean, it would probably be in the top 5. In terms of our team, he's won us so many points this season. It really is unreal. So, yeah, I still think he is an underrated player, and I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves week in, week out. I really don't.
Yeah. I think in a way, Tony, that's a sign of a good keeper when a lot of the things he does goes unnoticed, and you just sort of like, you know he's going to have a good game week in, week out.
He's been our best signing for years. Yeah. He's been one of the best signings our chairman's made since God knows when. Like you say, how many points has he saved us or made for us this season? Yeah. Like you say, the Ipswich game, the Reading game, the Reading away, they just like took that come to memory. He's absolutely outstanding, and I can't believe he actually has critics at this club, because he's, like you say, he's player of the year by his street.
I think certainly going back to Mark Schwarzer, he's probably the best keeper we've had. I mean, I know Shea Given was a good keeper, but he wasn't long enough. In terms of long-term keeper, I think he's up there.
Danny Coyne now.
He's up there with your Schwarzers and Stephen Pears now. You know what I mean?
Danny Coyne.
He's one of the best we've had.
Bad Jones.
What did you say? Bad Jones. Bad Jones.
He had a decent career out.
Yeah, he did well,
Went to Fenerbahce at the end, didn't he? The Liverpool,
Feyenoord, playing Champions League football. John Ugle got the first goal against Ipswich with a penalty, and it lifted a lot of pressure, and I think
you could feel it. You could feel the relief that we went that long without scoring at home, and just the relief when that penalty went in, which I couldn't watch.
And then second half, I think it was a much improved display from the players, capped by Marcus Tavernier's goal. Who caught the eye for you in that second half, AJ?
I think Tav played well afternoon. What I can remember, some of these games that happen because of that dull, you like to forget about them straight away.
It's just a case of getting the job done, really.
But yeah, I think after that game, I'm pretty sure I said Tav played alright. I think Wing played on. Listen, I'm sounding like a fan that never goes to no games here. Wing played alright, but yeah, like I say, I thought Tav took his goal very well. Obviously put in the bottom corner. Keeper maybe he's could have done a bit better, but I think that win was a win that we needed. Like, I think it lifted everyone.
Because everything was a bit low after that Sheffield Wednesday game, wasn't it? And you played a team who were struggling. Ipswich really are struggling. I mean, I think events since then have shown how badly they're.
I've seen a few Ipswich fans that were actually annoyed because I thought that they should have got something from the game.
We like we've done in previous games, we still allow Ipswich a lot of possession. And they were knocking it about quite well.
Especially the first half of the way,
What's the guy called with the funny haircut?
Chalabar, Trevor.
Yeah, he was,
one side
he was putting a foot in now and again, and he was, you know, moving the ball quite well for them. But like you say, that game, it was a 2-0 win, and when we stood outside the stadium, you usually get a good reaction off the Borough fans after a win.
Yeah.
But it was as if we'd been beat. It was quiet.
Really?
It was really quiet when the fans were walking past. There was no come on Butters or nothing, really flat. And
why do you think that's the case, Tony?
I think because it's like what had happened previous. We'd gone that long without scoring, without winning at home. It was bottom of the league, Ipswich, and some people just thought it was just, right, we beat Ipswich 2-0, you know, is anything worth getting excited about. So I think that's what the problem was. But like you say, massive improvements all round since the Sheffield Wednesday game. Yeah,
no, I think you're right. Well, sat in the director's box that day was Raju Fanlapara, who's since completed his loan move from Huddersfield, despite a bit of competition from Leeds United for his signature. What are you hoping for from this Flying Dutchman?
I'm hoping that he brings something that we're missing in the midfield. I did think after the people again, I thought we've seen a good Fanlapara. You know, Huddersfield fans are already writing him off for even signed to the Borough on loan, but what I did see was that he's able to beat a man, he's able to get his head up, run with the ball, he can dribble. I think to myself, this is everything that we need inside our midfield. So, you know, overall I'm hoping that he makes an impact. I'm hoping that he can give us that little bit to get us off the edge of our seats and just bring a bit more excitement to the game.
Offers something a bit different, doesn't he, to what we've got?
That's what we need, because at the minute our midfield is very much flat, I feel.
And I think at the minute it's tough, isn't it, with like in 45 minutes to judge him on a 45-minute performance.
It's like one of the lads said on the interviews, let's not compare him to Adama Traore. You know, he's come here, he got his first 45 minutes. I didn't see him go past the man. I seen him come inside, go past people, but I didn't actually see him go on the outside, take anyone on. But he played some, like you say, when he came inside, he had the vision to play them little balls through to Sambalonga. But so there's a decent footballer in there, and hopefully till May we can get the best out of him.
I've seen the I don't know if you use Twitter, gentlemen. Did you use Twitter?
No, I don't.
Did you see the hashtag that was literally spread everywhere last night? It was actually trending in the end last night.
What was?
Hashtag free Adama Traore was literally, I mean, I'm not joking.
Is this the new Yelly Vossen thing then, is it?
Honestly, it was everywhere. In the end, I put it on.
Well, I've read a little piece today about what Nuno said about Adama Traore, saying he's got to get better. He's got to improve. Now he's at Wolves, he's not happy with his performances. But then, obviously, he's criticised the lad. And then, I think the next 2 or 3 sentences, he starts to explain what Wolves are doing to help him be a better player. But he's actually came out and said he's not happy with him and he's not happy with his performances. He scored 1 goal, no assists.
And it's a tough one, isn't it? Because it took him a while to settle when he was at the Borough. And it was really, like I say, I don't think Karanka got the best out of him. Don't think Monk didn't. It was Pulis that got the best out of him. And that was over a year it took for that to happen. And it may be the same at Wolves, but it may be that he only responds to a manager in a certain way, like what Pulis did, and maybe it might not work out at Wolves. I'd be amazed to see him come back in, I'll be honest, Tony. Would you?
I can't see him coming in. No. It's like you say, why come back here? Would it be a backward step for him? Would it be a backward step for us because the whole focus would be back on him? Do you know what I mean? So if we can keep getting the best out of Lewis Wing, Tav, like I say, we'll talk about the Peterborough again. If we can keep getting the best out of Lewis Wing, he played a pass on Saturday, and I can't remember the last Borough player I seen play a pass like that where it wasn't just a cross diagonal. No, he absolutely.
First time, wasn't it? He just came with a moving ball.
Just a whipped it across. Unbelievable. The talent, and like you say, Ledbetter's came out and said how much of a good player he is. You can just see he's just going to get better and better the more game time he gets.
That pass, I know which pass you're on about. When he played it, don't want to put any pressure on the lads, and it's hard to say about one pass, but when he played that ball, I thought the last player that I sort of saw playing football like that and playing passes like that, Steven Gerrard. He used to whip balls like that. And he'd have shots at like they just whip it across, doesn't matter where the ball came, he'd just whip it across like that.
The goal it dipped, it bent, it went every which way.
Not for 1 minute am I saying he is Steven Gerrard, he's going to become Steven Gerrard, but he has got a lot of quality.
Traits,
he's got a lot of ability, that lad, he really has. Got some views in from some of the fans, AJ, mate?
Yeah, there's a lot of comments coming in. We'll go through some dead quick. OKB101 says hi.
Hi.
First of all. Jack Hunter says good evening.
Evening, Jack.
David Jackson made a point here, said hi lads, this year's championship is very poor. If we hadn't thrown away so many points, we could easily be in the top 2.
Well,
it's a fair point. I think everyone would say that, couldn't it?
I think, but as Borough fans, we say that every season.
CB Gaming Vlog said, "Alright lads." And Jack Hunter give his little bit on Van La Parra. So Van La Parra is a decent prospect, although he didn't do much out wide. He was getting on board and creating things through the middle. Looking forward to seeing him more. Yeah,
I think he's someone that will get better the more game time he gets, because he hasn't played football since October, has he? So.
And there's a transfer rumour here of what do you think of us being linked with Des Podev?
Yeah,
is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, he was linked yesterday in some of the papers. A Bulgarian centre forward. Apparently, there's us, Aston Villa, and I think it might be Cardiff.
I thought Aston Villa would be in there.
Yeah,
every single player is Aston Villa.
We've got the same scout, I think.
Aston Villa are Leeds, isn't it? Every single player.
But yeah, look at him, £5 million apparently centre forward. So.
Hasn't he scored like 22 goals? Is it?
Something like that. Yeah.
But he looks a bit like Peter Crouch, doesn't he? He looks like, I don't know whether he's as tall as Peter Crouch, but
yeah, well,
the shirt I seen him on, he looked a bit ill-fitting.
I mean, talking to centre forwards, if we go back to New Year's Day, just under a week ago, there was over 2,000 Borough fans made the journey to Pride Park to see us take on Derby. Bearing in mind, they were a side bursting with confidence after their comeback win at Norwich the previous weekend. I must admit, I feared the worst when Harry Wilson got that goal after 2 minutes. What were you lads thinking?
Nah, I was straight against it and put my head down. I thought, don't need this. We don't need this. But then, one thing I said afterwards was, it was almost like our response. You know what I mean? It was almost like the lads knew, listen, the game plan's gone out the window within 2 minutes. Dust ourselves off and let's actually give the fans something. And I thought that's exactly what we did. Yeah, I mean, the response was really positive, wasn't it?
Like you say there, I think it was 1 minute 27 seconds. But the goal was a well-worked goal. Yeah. And it's a goal, we've conceded similar goals to this season in between Fry and the right-hand centre half.
Yeah, there was a big gap, wasn't there, that he got
it's happened a couple of times this season, and like you say, the lad took it well.
Yeah.
It took us about 20 minutes to clear our heads.
Which I think is understandable in a way,
I think they had one more chance after that, where they looked a bit threatening, but we cleared our head after 20 minutes. And we were a different side.
And I think probably for about the next 40 minutes or so, we were the better team. I definitely thought for the remainder of the first half, and then the first 20 minutes of the second half, where obviously we got the goal, and then we created some other chances. I mean, who for you lads on the day stood out in terms of Borough performances?
Jordan Hugo for me. I just think
he was the sort of player, that performance was what I was expecting when he first came here, because I'd seen that type of performance when he played at Preston.
And it was aggressive. He was, you know what I mean? He was. I wouldn't say he was one of his unplayable games, but he would. The goal, it's what you want of a centre forward.
He just bullied the centre half, didn't he?
Performances, Besic stood out that day.
Best game for a while, definitely.
Obviously, wing. We always talk about wing.
But Howson played all right.
And I tell you what, Danny Batt was immense.
Yeah. Could have scored. He should have scored the header he had.
For what short notice he had, and he was absolutely unbelievable at the back.
Yeah, I thought him and Ayala. I thought Ayala was a colossus as well.
Ayala, the last few games has come back into form, and he's like you say, he's another one.
George Friend's been playing well.
George Friend,
that's a great shout, mate.
George Friend was unbelievable.
After the Peterborough game, I thought to myself, and I thought, you know, I saw him back in his last couple of performances, and I thought,
do you feel as if he's enjoying himself again?
That's what sort of prompted me. I thought, it looks like he's playing more positive going forward. Looks like he's actually enjoying his football again, whereas before it was sort of like going through the motions for him. Whereas now he's trying to create space.
I don't think he was going through the motions. I think he was, because of the criticism, I think he was a bit worried, and you know,
just lacking in confidence, maybe.
That's the word I was looking for as well.
But no, I agree with you totally on that one. I think the last few performances, I mean, that game at Derby put the great ball in for Hugo's goal.
Unbelievable.
But there was another ball after that one, it was 1-1, and the ball got whipped into the box, and he got across his man and cleared it in the 6-yard box. A great clearance. I just thought, he's had a spot on game. He's done really well.
And on for Saville, I thought Saville had a good out, you know what I mean?
I think we've named about 7 or 8 players there, so it shows how good they were.
Apart from the free kick, which led to our goal, where we had a decent chance to get another free kick. And why do we, was it Derby, where we got a free kick on the edge of the box again, and direct?
Yeah, it was Derby.
And why are we not taking that chance on? Why aren't we? Why does the player stood over the ball have to give it that little touch?
Yeah.
You know what
I mean? Do you think there's like a lack of confidence in trying to hit the target? Because I read somewhere that 1 or 2 people said, aside from Wing and maybe Grant Ledbetter, is there anyone that could put a shot on goal that can test a keeper like from that sort of distance? You think they're maybe lacking in confidence to have a goal from a free kick toward?
I'd like to think Lewis, the way Lewis Wing strikes the ball, I'd like to think he'd be okay on a dead ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I always say, any dead ball, give it to your goalkeeper.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Oh, you sent, like you say, you centre forward, anyone like that. But
yeah.
there must be players. They must practice free kicks day in, day out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, transfer window opened obviously last week. There's been one or two things in the local media saying that the club have to trim an unsustainable wage bill, which sort of points to little money's going to be spent in this transfer window.
So, like you say, where's that come from all of a sudden when we had the summer of discontent where allegedly we were trying to bring these players in? We had all our parachute payments, we had all the money off the three big lads who left, Gibson, Bamford, Traore, and now, you know, the club's saying we have to trim the wage bill. So,
I mean, I think we do have probably one of the biggest wage bills in the Championship. And we've obviously got players that are still on a good whack from when they were in the Premier League. But does it worry you that obviously Braithwaite's gone? Do you think there'll be other players going through the exit door this month, lads?
So you hear that many different rumours, and you know, so some of them, you know, they just haven't been dreamt up in the pub, where you're hearing that Randolph, they want Randolph off the wage bill.
That'd be a disaster.
You know what I mean, and stuff like that.
That would be
you'll never know till it happens, do you? You know what I mean?
But
there's some longer, but obviously there's still the talk of him going to Crystal Palace.
Gusted.
Braithwaite's gone, but how do Borough fans feel that Braithwaite's gone again on loan, and he's going to be coming back to our club again in the summer? Do
you think that's just a sign that nobody can take on his wage?
So how much of
that? He's on about 55k a week.
So what is?
What we already? I think we're
paying. MFC paying for that.
I think we're probably paying for a lot of it still now while he's away.
Exactly. So. He has turned out to be a rotten apple. We need to get shot as quick as possible.
Well, I say, how much is Gusted on now for the talk of him leaving, and Ledbitter's on about how he sees his future here. I'm thinking, Ledbitter, what future have you got?
He might mean in a coaching role.
I think he would be a fantastic coach. I mean, if you'd have asked me before Saturday, because I thought he had a bit of a disappointing game against Burton, but then
Saturday,
but on Saturday he had a great game.
First half, I thought he was one of our standout players, him and Ashley Fletcher.
Yeah, he controlled the midfield, didn't he? He had a really good game.
But like you said, Burton was woeful.
So it's a difficult one to say. I mean, going back to Derby, just one last thing. Where do you stand on comments that some people made after the game that with a little bit more ambition, we could have came away from that game with 3 points?
We
could have done. I thought we had a chance. I mean, like I say, man, Danny back one. Every time I watch it back, I think Danny, mate, just put it in the corner. Every time I watch it back now, I always think, it's going in, because, you know, it was one of them chances. But even in the first half, when we were saying, the corner that came in, there was no one in the box, no one in the 6-yard box stacking it.
There was a few of them at Derby. There was a few where, with a bit of Ali and Bernie always used to go mad. If you're a striker, you've got to be in there. And there was no one anticipating. It happened a couple of times at Derby.
I think there's like a 3-on-2 situation, and I think it was you get on the edge of the box, and it's 2 Borough players. All you have to do is split off. And the defence wouldn't be done. Them little things. I mean, second half, more chances, but I did feel like we could have come away with all 3 points.
Especially when Sombalonga came on for Ugal. That upset, like you say. It's just still simmering with Pulis carry on. It's just underneath the surface at the moment.
It's like for like, isn't it?
I mean,
a gentleman came out and said, "That's me done." He said he's put a Sombalonga on and took Ugal off. He said, "I can't stay and watch this now." And I'm thinking, I sat there with James, and I didn't want to leave because I really felt we were going to get 3 points. You know what I mean?
For me personally, I mean, I don't know if you lads agree with this. I thought that was our best away performance probably since Bristol City. That.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know we didn't win. We only got a point. We could have also lost it at the end with Nugent's chance, which was looking straight at Randolph. But in terms of all-round performance and taking into consideration who you were up against, I thought that was our best performance away from home for about 3 months.
Yeah, once they lost Wilson, they weren't at the races, and we just totally.
We could have lost Savile early on as well.
Now what do you make of that? I was expecting a red card to come out for that.
As soon as he went into it, round it in, and sat behind me, and I went, he's off. I said, he's off. You know what I mean? But it was one of them games where, as soon as they scored, I think everybody fan in there thought, like, here we go, it's going to be a good 4-0 thing. But it was, you know what I mean? The whole thing around it was, for me, was just a bit that we fought back. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Borough gave everything afternoon. I thought every single week. That's all I want to see. It's just a little bit of fight, a little bit of determination to try and get something out of any game. Because in this league, if we play like we did against Derby, against any team in this league, trust me, you're going to come out with something, whether it's a draw or a win.
I mean, what do you make of Tony? One or two people as well were saying after the game, well, yeah, you caught Derby at a good time because everyone's had 4 games in 10. Well, we've had 4 games in 10 days, so it was just the same for us. You don't buy that we played Derby at a good time.
Yeah, no, because like you say, the Derby catch us at a good time when they played. But we, you know, both teams had played 4 games over Christmas. Yeah. We played an extra one shot in the betting game in the middle of that.
True enough, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Point. So, like I said, I can't remember which is one guy I said, Johnny Howson must have ran to the moon and back over Christmas.
He looked like he was throwing up at the side of the pitch there last week,
He was absolutely, he's been unbelievable over Christmas.
Yeah, and he puts a lot in, doesn't he?
And, you know, he doesn't, like you say, we haven't even spoke about him, so he's doing something right.
Yeah. Any more comments from...
fair few coming in now. OKB comes back in and says, who do you want in the draw?
Oh, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I thought that. David Jackson says, how about my namesake? Jackson from Ipswich, you've obviously seen it at Akron Stanley.
Yes,
brilliant football.
Played against us, So they were saying, what about him? I think he only moved there for 1.5 million, but the chances of getting him now after moving this season are very, very slim. Fletcher was Jack Hunter's man of the match on Saturday. Keane said, Grant and Bestich on Saturday, Clayton offers nothing.
Ooh. Yeah, now we'll look forward to that at the weekend, because I think there will be no doubt a lot of changes from the Peter team to the ones going to play at Birmingham. But interesting point.
George Scott, like you say, another name there, Clayton. He was immense against Derby.
Yeah.
Joe Scott, said that he agreed with Hutchie. Don't think any club can afford Braithwaite's wages at the moment. And the last two is Jack Hunter said he felt the Derby game was too late. Should have brought the likes of Britt on a bit earlier to get the 3 points. And then David Jackson says, did you see the Amazing League table, which I've put as 8th best team in the league of the Premier League, EFL combined?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a whole table for the whole year, the calendar year 2018, and we're the 8th in it. Out of all the teams that are in the Championship, we've got the most points. I think we were 1 point ahead of Villa over the calendar year. So
nice one.
You think of all the negativity that's been
all
going
them rants.
I think we've won something like we've won 23 games in this calendar year. Yeah. At times it doesn't feel like it, does it?
No.
So it's a strange one. You can do anything with statistics, can't you? I know. We're going on to Saturday now, the cup game. Other players that have been linked away with a move from the club include Ashley Fletcher, Grant Ledbetter, Britt Sommalonga, Rudy Gusted. All 4 started against Peterborough in the FA Cup. Do you think their performances on the day were a case of maybe putting themselves in the shop window, AJ? Or do you think they're giving Tony Pulis a bit of food for thought, saying, hey, you need to get me into the first team?
I think it's a bit of both, isn't it? The Ashley Fletcher one's heavily linked now, isn't it? But, if it is, then good luck to them. You know what I mean? Because I said the same thing after. I said, is that their sort of plan? And if it is, then, listen, some of the wages get taken away and we can sort of have sort of move on from it. Yeah. So then whereabouts, I think, a few players will be a big loss if they go on permanent deals, like the likes of the Ashley Fletchers if he does go on a permanent deal or whatever. Because for me, that guy, I'm telling you now, he's such a good footballer, but you just got to put trust in him.
I think you've said that you've been a big fan of his all along. I think, haven't you, Tony, that you think there's a good player in there and he needs to be found a place in this team?
I think Ashley Fletcher's performance on Saturday was to say to Pulis, I want to be at this club. Now Braithwaite's moved on. There's a place on the bench for the kid. He's not in the starting 11. So
impressing away in the cup, he was good.
We can't afford to lose a young player like Ashley Fletcher. We paid $6.5 million. We've invested a lot of money in him. So he needs to be kept at our club. He doesn't need loaning out the Hull. He went to Sunderland last year and went through the pain of the relegation with Sunderland. Hull a bit of a good patch at the moment. They're playing well. So would he struggle to get straight into their side? Fletcher needs to be at the Borough.
Do you think it's a case of maybe Tony Pulis doesn't trust him enough to start him in games, in like league games?
I don't think he trusts none of the young ones at the moment, especially the Tabs. Obviously his trust's grown a bit more with Wing at the moment. So,
but it was interesting again after the game. He came out on Saturday, and I think Tony Pulis's way of maybe trying to keep a lid on things and not let people get carried away with him. But he said he made 1 or 2 mistakes in the game, and when he learns these things and when he learns about the game a bit more, and I think he does that to try and maybe keep a lid on him, so the expectation, because I think as fans we are different. We get excited about
Kane
things.
And David Beckham were making mistakes in the 30s. You know what I mean? They're always going to make mistakes. They're human beings.
He's just trying to take pressure off the lads.
Well, Ashley Fletcher needs to stay at our club. Grant Ledbetter, great servant. You know what I mean? With what he's came out with today, obviously he wants to stay at the club. Gusted,
Fitness is a big issue with him.
Jekyll and Hyde, he was unbelievable, woeful in the first half, but that flick for a Sombalonga's goal was worth the entrance money, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think everyone was a bit gobsmacked, weren't they, after it happened?
Yeah, 100% they were.
But yeah, it was fantastic little touch to put a Sombalonga in. Where do you stand on a Sombalonga?
I've always been a big fan of a Sombalonga.
Right.
I think he works hard, people call him lazy. Only problem with us a Sombalonga is, in my opinion, is he's the only centre forward I've ever seen who doesn't jump.
Yeah, no. The service
in our box, he clears near enough every corner.
Yeah.
But when the ball's played up to him long, he likes to back into the defender. He likes the defender to come over the top of him, trying to buy a free kick. If he started jumping, but I think he works hard. And
do you think there's a case of, you saw on Saturday, when he's working alongside somebody else, like he had Guesty along with him on Saturday, he's a much better player.
Look what he did with Johnny
both
Hugill.
looked happy.
Yeah.
Both
Look what happened with Johnny Hugill alongside him. He scored probably the goal of the season.
Yeah.
I say, man, on the way of the game, you mentioned all the time about the service to Britt. You can't play it over the top to him because he has to be into his feet.
Yeah.
But if you've got someone next to him, like John Hugill, John Hugill, for
the
10 on, and with everything on his chest.
The perfect goal for Sombalonga was the one with Guesty, where he opened up for him and he's one-on-one with the keeper.
He doesn't want too much time to think about it, does he? He's got to do it instinctively.
And when we had Fabio Traore and Christie getting to the bar line, passing the ball back towards him, he's deadly then.
Yeah.
But they, like you say, when he's trying to get the ball down the channels, nobody lifts their head up to give him the ball. And the lad's running, and you can see him showing where they want the ball, and it either goes sideways or backwards.
Yeah.
And how long are you going to keep running, waiting for that ball to come through?
Yeah. Well, there's one or two comments there about Britt Sombalonga.
They're coming in tonight, so it's great. A lot of people want us to get Tottenham away in the cup.
Will it be at Wembley or will it be at the new Tottenham ground?
No,
still be Wembley.
It's just been on the news there.
Steve UTB says, "Aye lads, this is a big transfer window for the Butter. Get it right, top two. Get it wrong, playoffs." And then Jacob Ross has come in with a few other transfer bits of business and says, "Who would you like to come up against in the fourth round?" With a question mark. And then says, "Also, we're looking at right wingers in that." As we just mentioned a minute ago, I won't try to pronounce his name again. And that Jamal Law
from Portsmouth. He's been linked.
And then CB Game Vlog says, with the right support, Sombalonga is the best striker at this level.
He scored goals at this level before in the Forest. He was always a 15, 20 goal season.
I was surprised when AJT said to me, that's a Sombalonga on 8, and I thought, it's just crept up, and like you say, what's that, 3 goals?
Well, that's in all competitions, and everything that he's done.
He's got 3 goals in the last 2 games or something. Or
yeah, I think so.
He scored obviously
the 2 on Saturday.
He scored the 2 on Saturday.
Yeah.
Did he get one against? No. Did he get one against Reading? No.
No, it was George.
Oh, yeah, it was 1-0, wasn't it?
Yeah. But still 8 goals, and he's been in and out the team, and more often than not as a lone man up front.
Yeah.
I just think, like you say, if there was another man alongside him, probably Hugill, I think he would score quite a few more.
And he's a rich vein of form, Hugill, because like you say, that header.
He looked a much better player. He looked a transformed player on New Year's Day derby, and I'm pretty sure he'll come back in on Saturday at Birmingham. But will it be with a Sombalonga, or will he be on his own up front? What do you reckon?
Be one up front, one. It always is, but I want to see 2 up front now. I'm sick of seeing the 1 up front because when it's Hugill,
it won't be 2 up front. We're going away from home.
That's what I'm saying.
We're going up against a team who's lost 5 games. We've lost 5 games.
You know
what I mean?
Tough game,
so it's going to be a tough game.
I think home games, there's definitely a case to be made for playing 2 up front at home.
Definitely. If we played, like you say,
in the Championship,
after Saturday, when you've seen all that attack and flair, what we can actually do when the team is let loose, you've got to have a look.
Down the try.
Like you say, at home we've got to go down the same road as what we did Saturday. I know it was Peterborough, but Peterborough are playing well in their division at the moment. So,
What about new players coming in? There's been 1 or 2 mentioned there that we've had from the viewers. We've had other names thrown about like Grzycki and Bowen at Hull, although I think Hull are valuing Bowen about £20 million.
He's a great player, Bowen. Come on strong, hasn't he, the last couple of seasons, Bowen?
Knudsen, left back at Ipswich, he's been linked with coming in. What about the loan market? I've just picked up a few names here from watching games at the weekend. They're Eddie and Keita.
He's class. He's honestly an unbelievable player.
Yeah, Joe Willock, who scored the two goals. I mean, these lads must be thinking now, they're not going to play week in, week out for Arsenal. Will they maybe be available for loan?
I mean, look at Solanke there. He went to Bournemouth for how much?
£19 million.
Because he wants to play his football. If you're going to pay him, you're going to start every week. He's going to get you the goals, isn't he?
Yeah.
But them two names you mentioned there, Ketia, Willock, they are really good youth academy players. Do you know what I mean?
Come through. Players like that was like the situation we had with Jack Harrison last season, where we got him in and he never got used. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's it. Yeah, because again, like you said a few minutes ago, it's a fear of the manager not trusting young lads.
Lookman from Everton.
They won't let him go now. The fans absolutely love him.
Yeah, was he at
Lookman's their lowest wingman to have because the Evertonians just want him in every week. They reckon he's amazing.
An outstanding player.
You know, it'd be nice to go for
they've got a centre back as well. Is it Holgate or something?
Yeah, he's good at West Brom.
Is it?
Yeah.
He's going to be a good player.
Yeah. So back to the FA Cup game Saturday. In terms of the team that Tony Pulis put up, were you surprised by how strong it was?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially before the game,
I was surprised the amount of forward-thinking players was in the side, but like Pulis came out, he comes in the press last year when he first came was how much he loved the FA Cup and how much he respected it.
Yeah.
So
he did
I was expecting a strong team.
Yeah. I mean, first half again was a little bit quiet, a bit flat, not a great deal happening. I mean, fair play to Peterborough and their fans.
They could have won the first half then. I thought they did well first
They
half.
came here expecting to win. Then Peterborough fans came here expecting to turn the borough over. And I think on the first half performance, I think they had every right. They had one chance where the big guy up front,
Ivan Toney,
he had a chance of going and he smashed it wide. You know what I mean? But first half they had me a bit worried. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, second half was a massive transformation, and our friend Lewis Wing came on.
I thought I'd gone back into the wrong stadium.
I mean, do you simply put it down to Lewis Wing coming in, or why do you think there was such a transformation in the second half?
Because Lewis Wing came on.
Right, fair enough.
Simple as.
I mean, he did change the team around a little bit, didn't he?
But he's just, you could see him driving the team forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Our back four moved up. Yeah. And he just totally changed the way we were getting the ball forward.
And I think it was a thing as well in the first half. I know he played Fletcher, Guested and Assam longer, and they all stayed on second half. But I think with the three of them up top, it was almost like they were restricting each other for room, weren't they? Were getting
was like
in the
Fletcher
way
went up more left, more wide, didn't he?
In the second half, because he put Wing and Ledbetter in the middle. Yeah. And he went with Fletcher and Tab on the wings. And it seemed to work a lot better. I mean, Grant Ledbetter, big shout out. 500th career appearance, that's some achievement.
Some achievement.
And then Dimmy becoming the oldest ever player to play for the borough.
I thought he's always been the oldest ever.
He must have some hard shifts in that restaurant, I think that's what it is.
41-year-old, isn't he now?
Just over 40 years old.
And how old was Teddy Sheringham when he was like 45? 47, something like that?
I don't know.
He was getting on, he's going to beat him.
Well, it was like Dimmy, he had a decent game. You know, he had some.
Well, for World Day, was it? On to the bar.
He had some work.
Right at the end of the game.
Pushed on to the bar, they still got it.
I mean, two good pros, aren't they? They've given good service to us, but in terms of football, they've contributed to the game.
To think Dimmy only came as a goalkeeping coach or whatever, or just someone help out in training. And
he's done very well.
He's done very well.
Yeah. I mean, I know you mentioned there about Ashley Fletcher and Assam Belonger and Wing. It was an impressive second half performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, all round. Like you say, you could see the enjoyment in Assam Belonger's face. Yeah. Guested, well, like you say, it went from Jekyll and Hyde. He just, from turning the turf up on the riverside in the first half to that flick, just absolutely fantastic. Yeah, and you could see, once we went 2-0 up, there was no, right, let's go back to normal, let's go back to basic. You could see they actually driving on him. Like you say, their guy in their dugout was louder than Pulis. You didn't hardly hear Pulis at
Steve
all.
Evans,
Steve Evans.
Didn't have his sombrero out on Saturday, did he?
No,
but it was a good performance, good result. So, as one or two people have mentioned there, 4th round draws later on tonight after the Wolves-Liverpool game. Who do you lads fancy in the 4th round?
Oh, mine's going out the window. I said Leeds. In my interview to Guesty and AJT, I went, give us Leeds. That's not
we haven't had a glamour tie for a while. Man City at home a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we did in the quarter final. Yeah. Would you prefer a big team than to a smaller team? And
I'd like a big team now at the Riverside. I'd like a Man U, a Man City, a Tottenham at the Riverside.
I'll tell you what's interesting. There's been, I think it's been 31 games in this round so far, and there's only been 4 draws.
Yeah.
Is that a sign now that teams are like, we don't want the added fixtures, we're just either going to win or we're going to lose, we're not really that bothered.
Benitez is gutted, isn't he? You know what
They've had a draw, and I think that's it now. I think, I looked at, obviously Norwich went out, Leeds went out, Sheffield United went out.
And for the teams that like Sheffield United, Norwich, Leeds, they need to be ashamed of themselves, you know what I mean? They showed the cup no respect. Yeah. Obviously they've got other fish to fry, but it's the FA Cup.
Yeah.
You could get promoted this year, you could get the playoffs this year, but you know what I mean? You could.
We've never won the FA Cup.
You could go on a
yes, that's it. That's what you get.
Good for Wigan. Yeah. Would Wigan fans rather have an FA Cup or the relegation? Would they swap that FA Cup win for relegation? Yeah. They'd keep the FA Cup.
I think we've spoke about this before. I would definitely take, as much as I want to get in the Premier League, I would take the FA Cup this year.
Yeah, I love the FA Cup.
Leicester, like you say, the absolute diabolical. Showed no respect to the FA Cup. Yeah. Like say, I sat down there with the man, Ron Atkinson, who won the FA Cup. Yes. And a man, like you say, he told me about the disrespect of the FA Cup. It's unbelievable, man.
Yeah. Well, I just think yesterday you just saw that in that Newport game, Oldham at Fulham.
That was mad.
And you just see, I mean, Oldham took nearly 5,000 fans to Fulham, and when it focused on the away end at the end of the game, you said, that's what the FA Cup's all about. Yeah. That's what you want to see, and I love the FA Cup, and I want us to have a really good run in it. And
that's what surprised me about the turnout at the Riverside on Saturday. It's the FA Cup. Yeah. Go back 30 years, if that was at Middlesbrough v Peterborough at Ayresome Park, it'd have been packed out. Yeah. For the third round of the FA Cup.
There certainly would have been more than 11,000.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I honestly want to have a good cup run, right? And I feel like if we have a big team, it could just go down the pan. I want a little team again, all the way to the final, and then before it gets to the final, I don't mind then, but I just want to get to bloody Wembley. Do you know what I mean? Because of course, like you say, man, the semis are played at Wembley. Don't mind even getting to a semi-final, right? But then if we get to the semis, then we've got to go to the final. We can't get knocked out the semi-final.
Semi-finalists, no one remembers us beating semi-finalists.
It's awful, worst time to get beaten away, isn't it? Because you've invested so much in it to get all that way and then lose one step from the final.
That year Arsenal knocked us out in the semis. Yeah. You know, if anyone said, who did Arsenal beat in the semis?
That own goal, wasn't it? Is that the one?
Only we know. There's only us know that we got beaten that semi-final. No one else.
From the corner, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Oh, I wonder if did he score that man.
Had old Toblerone boots on me or something.
Wilson was class at it.
Yeah, there was a few players like that.
Remember watching that in the house? Remember watching our dad and me and our dad just looking at each other and thinking, what the hell?
But yeah, so you fancy Man City or someone? I'd like to play...
No, I said someone big.
Someone big.
I'll take at home Newport or Oldham.
I would like to go away to a place that we haven't been to before, somewhere like Wimbledon. I'd like to go to WFC Wimbledon away. I'd like to go there.
Imagine what the parking's like down there.
Just get a ticket. Try to get a ticket, isn't it?
You'll have all them wombles kicking about.
Go litter picking and everything, can't you, before the game? Yeah, I think that'd be fantastic. Wimbledon away from there.
Oh, Newport away, somewhere like that.
Newport's, please. We'll have to take our tennis back.
So there you go. We'll find out in a few hours' time anyway, Borough fans. Any more things in from the viewers?
There's a lot coming in. People having arguments now about Ashley Fletcher. Someone said Ashley Fletcher's crap or something, and that triggered everyone here in the comment section. Gamer boy scored, and people are saying that Liverpool's team's out now. Someone said, "Man, are you kidding? I prefer Leicester," something like that.
They're out.
They're gone.
Yeah.
They're not piece of you, lads. We're disrespecting the club.
Yeah, Fletcher scored 4, still pathetic. I'm just saying, I watch him play in the cup, and he's a talent. Like I say, man,
I think that's what's great about the game, isn't it? People have different opinions, and we all watch the same game, but we see it differently. So, no, I think that's great. So, weekend, lads, we're off to Birmingham. Big game at St Andrews. Blues are currently 8th in the table, 4 points behind us in a playoff place. Have you been surprised by how well Gary Monk's done down there?
No, because I thought with the right squad, in the right conditions, he's a decent manager.
Yeah.
After the way he started at Swansea,
Yeah.
you know, when he came to us, I thought, yeah, I think we've got a bit of a gem here, you know what I mean? And it was just that, like, kid in a sweet shop attitude he had with the players. He didn't know which one to pick. I think that was his downfall at the Borough. But he's getting the best out of Duke. He's getting
Good to say, he's having a great season, isn't he?
Like you say, they've lost the same amount of games as us.
Yeah.
So
I'm surprised, not in that he's doing well in a way, but I'm surprised he's doing well at Birmingham, because I think they've been a club for the last few years that have always been down at the bottom.
yeah.
They haven't had a lot of money to spend. I mean, I think they've had transfer embargoes
Didn't
in
they have a good
place.
season with that guy who's at Stoke now?
Rowett,
Did
and
they get
they
the
got rid of
playoffs?
him halfway through the season.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, he was doing well with them, and they got rid of him, didn't they?
And I think it's been a lot of years since Birmingham have done well. So all credit to him. I mean, he's doing I think he's doing better than what I thought he would there with the squad he's got, and he's got them playing decent football. They're not scoring a great deal of goals.
No.
So with that in mind, predictions for Saturday. What are we going to go?
2-0 Borough.
Oh, love your confidence, good man.
I think it is a winnable game. As much as he's a hero for keeping them up last season and whatnot, I think, you know, if we want to improve our form at all, there's only a bit of dust, I thought it was a fly. If we want to improve our form at all, you know what I mean, go start going on a run. I know. But that's what I'm saying. Our form has to improve somewhere, and why not do it on Saturday? So I know we're 3 games unbeaten,
We are, yeah.
but let's make it 4, and let's have a ranks. So I think 2-0.
2-0.
2-0 to the Borough.
Tony?
I've already said I'd be happy to come home with a point. If Jota's playing, that's the type of player who worries me against the Borough, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like you say, I can see us coming away with a 1-0 win, but I'd be really happy with a point.
Yeah. I'm torn between either a 1-0 win or a 0-0 draw. Don't be many goals.
Don't give us a 0-0. Don't send us to Birmingham for a 0-0, mate.
I think it might be. I'll go 0-0. I think it will be.
People are saying 0-0. People saying 2-1, 2-0 Borough.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's another weekend where there's a lot of big games going on. There's Leeds v Derby on Friday night.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're at Birmingham Saturday. West Brom take on Norwich on Saturday.
Norwich at West Brom as well, isn't it?
Some huge games, and it could be a chance if you win where you can even close the gap on the top 2.
That's what was disappointing against Derby, because they both got beat again.
Yeah.
And I really felt it was this 2 points through away when we could have closed that gap again.
Yeah.
Not, like you say, it doesn't look any better. You're still 4 points behind the leaders, 5 points behind the leaders. But that gets them looking over the shoulders again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Puts a bit of pressure on them, doesn't it?
Borough are starting to come back into form. Derby is starting to come back into form. Norwich and Leeds are starting to drop off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
I think if we're going to go for top 2, we have to sort of like put wins together on the road as well, don't we? As well as winning at home, which I think our home form's been a problem.
Yeah.
But I think we need to also win away from home,
Yeah.
especially in tough games like this. We've got to get 3 points if we're aiming for top 2.
Which our away form, we're a totally different team from the away from home.
Right, well that's all to look forward to. Lads, thanks for joining us tonight, and thanks for another week on the Borough Fan TV Monday night show. Don't forget to like and subscribe to us Borough fans out there. At the weekend, the lads will be at St Andrews, so catch up with them outside the ground before and after the game. We're doing interviews, hopefully celebrating another 3 points for the Borough. So from all of us here at the Monday Night Club, thanks for joining us, and up the Borough.
Up the Borough.